Hey everyone, thanks for joining the video I'm going to be doing here on Ethereum Classic. I'm just going to take just a few moments to take a look at this and go through a count that I've put together on it and then kind of talk about where things are going to go. But before I get started, of course, this isn't financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. I'm giving you my opinion here on the market. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and once again, this is just my opinion here. So let's go ahead and move into the charts. All right, so we've got a nice range here that we are defining. We've done a good support and resistance flip on Ethereum Classic, which I'm going to point out here in just a moment. But what I want to do is, again, I want to kind of take a look at this from the beginning and kind of see where we've gone. And it looks very similar to just about everything else out there. A lot of them have different counts, but they're all very similar. We've got a nice 1 and a nice 2 and a 3 going into the 4, and then we're working on the 5. And as far as geometry goes, I'm not a fan that this 5 is taking so long to complete. Leads me to believe that maybe this is the 5 and we have a truncation and this is the top. But I do actually believe that we do have a little bit further to go here. Potentially go up to about 1550. Right now we're sitting at about a little under $12 right now. So this is looking okay. Just very similar to the analysis I was just doing on Nano. When we did our pullback, we came right back down here to the 382. And so this is looking pretty good. What I'm not sure of here yet is on this pullback right here. I'm conflicted on whether or not this is an A, a B, and then a C here, and then the 4 is actually back here, and then the 1, let me move this back here because I think this might fit a little bit better with our bias. But moving this, for that to be the 1 and this to be the 2, and then we've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3 right here. And then, this fourth wave is really hard to trust. It's very possible that this is showing as an A, a B, and then a C going into an expanded flat, in which case we would have basically confirmed this as support. And so I said that I would point this out. This right here, I'm looking at 4-hour candles right now. This is important support resistance flip to pay attention to. And that's sitting right here at, about 1085 or so. It's important for this to hold. So if you're in a position and we start breaking the structure, chances are pretty good we are going to, do a bearish retest of this and then move lower. But for right now, since we're consolidating up here, I think there is a decent chance that from this low right here, we're going to get a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this 3. Okay, and again, this is the 3. So this is the fifth wave of the ending of this 3, and then we're going to be going in for a 4. And where that goes, again, this all really assumes that we make it to this target of 1550. But then we're going to correct this entire move here. So we start from the bottom, we work our way to where we're currently projecting the top to be, and again, going back to about 50 to 61.8%. In this range seems like a pretty good place to find a bounce. Here at $6, maybe $7.21. In that particular range is where I would be looking for Ethereum Classic to be reaccumulating. So we've got this level right here, moving ourselves to the top of this zone right here in this area. This is where I'd be looking for Ethereum Classic to do a retrace. Depends on how strong this is, but it really wouldn't surprise me for us to come back to where this level had support and resistance, confluence, and then down here at the bottom here, where we've got where we have resistance as well. Again, this if we make it up to $15.50, we've got the 50 right here at the top of this range and the 618 down here at the bottom of this range. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit for this to do, nice A, B, C correction down here into this range. But it is very possible, I've got my 4 sitting out here. If this is just a 1, 2, 3, and now we're putting in a 4, we're only going to come to the 382, which is going to be at about $8.64. One way or another, we're going to have to wait and see how high this goes and whether we get a pivot. And when we get a pivot, then we'll watch to see what happens here at the 382. This is going to be the first level that we're going to pay attention to. If it breaks the 382, it's going to go to the 50. If it breaks the 50, it's going to go to the 618. So these are all areas to buy, and I would increase risk the lower we go. I would risk less here at the 382. I would risk more here at the 618. You have a higher probability of getting a good bounce at a 618 versus a 382, unless this is a wave 4, then your high probability bounce zone is 382. But as far as the geometry goes, I'm just not a real big fan of this being a 1, a 2, and then going out here for the 3, going down here for the 4, and then moving up for a 5 to take us up to about $22. The geometry on that, let's just go ahead and pull this out and see what it see if it actually has good geometry to it. I'm on log scale, so let me see if and that may be why the geometry looks so bad. Let me go ahead and do this on a linear scale and pull this out. Okay, so again, if this is from down here, the 1, the 2, then the 3, moving down for the 4 here at the 382, and then moving up to the 5, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling that right now. Yeah, I think that there is potential that this does come up to like $14, but at any rate, this is very possible that this is a topping formation. So again, watch to see what happens here at $10 and 85 cents. $10.85 right here where we have the candle wick. As far as the candle body goes, we had a wick up above the candle closure here at about $10.85. We've got that confirmed as support, but the more that this hits, the greater the chances of it coming down are. So watch to see what happens up at the $14 to $15 level, but then look for that retrace. Look for the retrace and see what happens there. I do think there's a little bit of upside left, just like most other alts, but I do think that we are approaching an area where we are, I talked about this on the last video, approaching diminishing returns. Let's take a look at the Stokes here for just a moment. The Stokes look actually okay. The Stokes look all right. If we can get this 3-hour to come down a bit and the 1 hour to come back down, so this could potentially come back down to 1140 to 1150. This looks like it could be creating a good buy signal for us. We really haven't had a good buy signal on Ethereum Classic since back here. And again, we talk about this with our indicator. And again, if you'd like our indicator, you just need to be a member of our Discord, and I can give this indicator to you. But that was the last area where we had a good buy on Ethereum Classic. The time before that was right down here. This was the last, the buy signal before that we had. We had some buy signals back here as well. But then the last one before that wasn't all the way back here at the $5 range. So, these are good areas to be buying, and right, and in a bull trend, you want to be buying the dips. And buying the dips means waiting and be patient for the signal to to come in your favor, and then you take that trade and it works out in your favor. In a bear market, you're going to be looking for the opposite. And in all actuality, we've been seeing this. Right, so we had the 12-hour, the 3-hour, and the 1 hour up here where we had a good pivot to the downside. Then let's see here, we had, that was the last time. The other time that this happened was right up here at this top. So, in a bull trend, you really want some significant confluence, the 12-hour, the 1 hour, and the 3-hour all to be in your favor before you take any short trades. But nonetheless, the last two times, all three of those were in confluence with each other. We did have a bit of a pullback. But nonetheless, you really want to be buying the dips and waiting and being patient for these for these indicators to go into your favor, if you particularly care for trading on indicators. But at any rate, I do think that there is a potential buy setting up, but it's just not here yet. So I wouldn't be entering any trades right here. I wouldn't even be buying a breakout, right? So, I'm not particularly fond of being a breakout trader. I like to be a dip buyer rather than a breakout buyer. It just, seems to work out better. So going back to a log scale, this looks decent. Again, it looks decent for a move up to, this $15.50 range. But really, you're not talking about much of a move. You're really only talking. I guess that is a 30% move, which is not insignificant. But then you also have to take a look at the move down that could be potentially, about a 43% drop potentially in the making. So at any rate, that's kind of what I have thought on Ethereum Classic right now. I do think there's a little bit more upside, as I think there's a little bit more upside with Bitcoin, a little bit more upside with Ethereum, and a lot of the other alts as well are starting to look pretty good. But if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, I appreciate like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you want to be part of our Discord and you're not already part of it, it doesn't cost anything to join the Discord. Just throw in a comment in the YouTube chat, and I will get an invite out to you. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and